I pledge allegiance. No. I pledge awareness to a flag of the divided state of immigrants, and to this republic for which we hold hands, one humanity, upon the land, indivisible, with First Nations and equity for all.
The Trail of Tears. When I was a child, my grandmother told me the story of the Great Irish Famine of 1847, where 1 million Irish people died. She told me how the poor Indians of the Choctaw Nation sent $170 for famine relief, an astounding sum of money in those days. Only 16 years earlier on the Trail of Tears, many of the great tribes had died from exhaustion, malnutrition and disease. This is a story of one poor oppressed nation helping another, an extraordinary act of kindness from those who had so little. And now I ask myself, how can I, who have so much, stand by and watch?
Modern American daughter or son, what drove you here? What moved you to come? What called you here? From what song were you sung? Arriving into an old world that had already begun, into its living valley, weedy wellspring sprung, into ancient, enduring colors inherent in this land, with rabbit brush, coyote, and dunes of sand. Cottonwoods and high peaks do stand. Its own natural state of national affairs, its own American red, white, and blue, in sangre de Cristo, blood scarlet hue. Cisnogeny bears witness, dawn shell white. Big blue sky days welcomes well more than 50 stars each night.
I grew up on Sesame Street. Now, I didn't actually grow up on the set of the television show of Sesame Street, but I did watch a lot of television. And our neighborhood was diverse, active, feminine, empowered, poor, hip on history, striving to be educated about differences. We listened to Motown, break dance to Grandmaster Flash, and it was the 80s. And we still had cameo appearances by Michael Jackson, who was a national hero. We learned sign language at the local YWCA. We got our picture in the paper because my best friend is black and we were very photogenic. And we were always doing something urbanic, riding buses, playing at the Children's Museum, or running through city fountains on summer days. Sunny days, sweep the clouds away. After more years, I realized we were the exception and not the rule. Children's television, Dreamland storm, neighborhoods getting rough, conflictual norm. There were a couple of shootings around the corner, and enough was enough. We had the privilege of not getting stuck. But even when we moved west, it was Spanglish, used bookstores, Kmart's, and apartments with single mothers and immigrants, community. Helping out to be helped out. Hard times had a cushion. I realized this was the exception and not the rule. Why? Hey, on the other side of town who are having a different experience altogether now. Won't you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? Woo.
The privilege of fruit. The fruits of the civil rights movement, now trying to be bruised, spoiled, taken, before their ripening. White farmers asking black workers, what trees will bear fruit? With each passing spring, another variety goes in the ground. Fruits of the civil rights movement, now trying to be bruised, spoiled, and taken before its ripening. Under duress, with creatures creeping in the night, attempting to yank them down before time, trying to harvest what is not theirs yet to digest. The grandchildren, rightful keepers and eaters of this strange fruit, gently pick and gladly share with those who make space to plant its seeds. Fruits of the civil rights movement now, trying to be bruised, spoiled, and taken before their ripening. The privilege of sweet, sweet fruit. The more diverse colors and textures and smells, the better. A ripe love connects taste buds and belly laughs with seasons of hard work. This is the ripening.
Last September, we were driving through Idaho, a place I had never been before. We spotted spray-painted pickup trucks. White folks were all worked up, slanderous. When did that kind of language become commonplace? A neighbor says it's always been like this. She said she went back home to her hometown and got beat up by her brother-in-law. Can't take her. Teenagers aren't the only ones, but they are the ones. I heard some kids in the park using the N-word, and not in a rap way. What? Bullies. Bullies are getting away with everything, and there's a racist in the principal's office. We gotta get off this pedestal and hit the streets, y'all. There is something missing. Not enough interracial kissing. We have a question. Knowing that diversity is the very strength, the very substrate of life, how does one build this into our communities so that one point of view, paranoid, doesn't become the only hue?
All folks move, compelled to migrate in ease or in dire oppression. People steer and navigate, often in search of freedom, connection. Going off far away, alarms, sirens sound. Here we go, gently, cruising around town, and occasionally, County T Road, go down. Mainly Crestonians play back from the breaknecking pace, from the relentless driving frenzy of some strange human race, racing towards crazy, driven full mad. What's driving our nation? Asleep at the wheel, racing to nowhere with no time to feel. Going so fast, risking running us over, behind wheels underlies responsibility sober. For at times, we need to march in the street, compelled by the confluence where common needs meet. People yearn to travel, though sometimes no choice but to go. Who is welcoming when fleeing? Who is a friend? Who's foe? In a world driven crazy, in a world driven mad, human race racing, faster and faster, crash, over the edge, arriving at last. Friendly faces, all colors, attend through cracked, broken glass. Neighbors help neighbors. People who care, open arms, embrace strangers. Grace guides us all there.
A great sadness woke me up last night. I sat by the fire with visions of a world going over the edge, and yesterday's news shooting through my head. I have joined the revolution. Yay. This is where I need to be. But sometimes I just want to rest in the soft, silent earth, in the company of ravens and rabbits, and listen to coyotes howl. When the world seems out of control, even the sound of an owl can draw me down to the silent ground. I want to be among things that carry no